Okay guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to do the whole numbers and decimals and fractions for tomorrow's test. This should just be a review, so hopefully if you're watching this it's because you want to do better on your test. So let's look at problem number 1. It says the sum of two numbers is A. The product of two numbers is B. How much greater is the larger number than the smaller number? Okay, so in this case we are talking about vocabulary words. Okay, and one of them is sum, the other one is product. You have the sum of two numbers, and that the answer of that is A. The product of two numbers, that's multiplication, that the answer is B. But the question is not about the sum or the product. The question continues to read, how much greater? So by saying this right here, how much greater is the larger number than the smaller, they're asking us to subtract. So what part of the question asks to subtract? Well, the question would be answer choice C. How much greater is one than the other? Okay, so that's the answer for number 1. Now, if you haven't worked out this review and you're watching this video, push pause, work through the review, and then come back and see if you got the right answers. That's the correct way to study with this video. Okay, so let's try that right now. Now, I am in my classroom right now. There's a lot of people at lunch, so if you hear any kind of noises in the background, that's what that is. Okay, so let me scroll down to the next number. Number 2. After 43 home games, a baseball team had hoped to have already drawn 1 million people to their games. The average attendance so far has been 24,845 people per game. Which statement is true? The team is 68,335 people ahead of its goal. The team is 826,085 people behind its goal, or the team is 68,335 people behind its goal, or the team is 173,915 people ahead of its goal. Okay, so let's talk through this problem right quick. Alright, so the question here says, after 43 games, home games, a baseball team had hoped to have already drawn 1 million people. So this is their hope. They want to get to 1 million people. The average attendance so far has been 24,800 people per game. Okay, and they have this many games right here. Which statement is true? We have to calculate how many people have gone so far. Okay, so we have to multiply 24,000 times 845 times 43. Now I do want you to go ahead and work it out, but because I want to keep this video short, I'm going to go ahead and use my calculator here. So it's 24,845, and we're going to multiply that times 43 games, because each one of those games had that many people. So we're looking at about 106,800,000, nope, more than that, let's see, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 1,068,335. So what we're looking at here is more than a million. So if we subtract now 1 million, which was our goal, and remember 1 million has 6 zeros behind it, my answer is 68,335. So the goal was 1 million. We are that many more people ahead already of the game. So the answer choice F, the team is that many people ahead of its goal, would be correct. Okay, so the answer choice F is correct. Again, make sure that you have already worked this out by yourself, because you're not going to have a calculator in the classroom during the test, and you're not going to have me explain to you each one of these problems. Okay, so make sure you understand that. Now, let's see. Okay, two 4-digit numbers are added. Which result is the most reasonable? Okay, and let's make up some numbers right now just to see what happens. Two 4-digit numbers. So one 4-digit number would be like 2, 3, 5, and 6. That's 4 digits. And then another 4-digit number would be like, I don't know, 3, 4, let's just make it simple numbers, 1 and 1. And I don't have my little pen that I usually use. That's why my numbers look a little weird, but I think you can make them out. So if you add them together, look what happens. You have 7. 5 plus 1 is 6, and 3 plus 4 is 7, and 2 plus 3 is 5. So does the result have 4 digits, or the result have 4 or 5 digits? What about the result having 4, 5, or 6 digits? Can the result have 8 digits? Well, right now we saw 4 digits, right? But what if this 2, let's write this 2 real quick. What if that 2 would have been a 9? 9 plus 3 is now going to give me 12. So now we have 5 digits. So it's not going to be 8 because it's not just 4 digits. It could be 4 or it could be 5. Now could it be 6? The only way it could be 6 is if we can get this number to give me more than 2 digits. And if I have the biggest number that I can get, the biggest number that I can get with 4 digits would be 9999, right? So let's see, 9 plus 9,999 plus another 4 digit, which is 9,999. If I add all these 9s together, let's see what I would get, because this would be the biggest number I could get. And if I get 6 digits, then my answer is C. If I cannot get 6 digits, then my answer is just B. 9 plus 9 is 18, carry the 1. 9 plus 9 is 18, plus 1 is 19, carry the 1. 9 plus 9 is 18, plus 1 is 19, carry the 1. And 9 plus 9 is 18, plus 1 is 19. So this is the biggest number I can have. And as you can see, you have 5 digits, and we cannot get to the 6 digits at all. We definitely won't be able to get to the 8 digits. So the correct answer for this number is 3. Number 3 is B. Okay? Moving right along, trying to keep this video nice and short. Okay, which set of numbers is in order from least to greatest? Remember, you must write them in order from least to greatest, and you have to write them vertically. In other words, up and down. So the first one I'm going to write is the 5.9, and then 0.65. Remember, line up those decimals. 0.65, and then 0.078, and then 9.002. You notice that these numbers are all the same numbers in F, G, H, and J. They're the same numbers, they're just in different order. So you don't have to all order 4 different problems. All you have to order is just those many. Okay, so here's what we're going to do now. I'm going to start looking at the left digit, 5 and 9. I know those are going to be the biggest numbers, and we're going from least to greatest. So the 9 is going to be the last one on my list. So this one should be the last one on my list. If you have answer choices, we can go ahead and eliminate answer choice G, because that's not the last one in my list. It is right here, and it is right there, and it's also right there, so that's good. Now the next one should be 5.9, because 5 is bigger than 0 and 0. So this one should be in my third place in my list. So the third place should be 5.9. That means we can eliminate that one. We do have a 5.9 there, and we do have a 5.9 there. Now the difference is between these two. So if I look at my next numbers, and we already talked about that one, and we already talked about that one, I have a 6 that is bigger than a 0. So the 6 has to be in the second place, because the smallest place has to be on that 0. And that has to be the first place in my list. So the first place is 0.078, and that happens to be this one, and the second place is 0.67. So my answer here is answer choice J. Okay, number 5. Which number makes the statement false? So we're looking for something that is not true. Okay, so let's talk about this right quick. Okay, so 0.78 is going to be, has to be less than whatever number goes here. Okay, so is 0.78 less than 0.79? Yes, it is. Is it less than this one? Yes, because of that 9. Is less than all of them. So far all of them fit because of this symbol right here. But now we got to check this other symbol. Whatever number we put in here has to be has to be less than this number right here, 1.18. Okay, and if we look at this one, 1.21, that's not going to be less than, so we know this is not going to be right. Okay, and 1.8. So this is the only one that is not less than 1.18. All of these are less than 1.18 and is greater than 0.78. So the only one that makes this statement false is answer choice D. And false was the correct word to be looking at. Okay, so now let's look at number 6. A gymnast has had the scores shown in the table for 4 events. Okay, you can see the 4 different events there. What is the correct order of the gymnast's events from highest to lowest performing? Highest to lowest performing. So the highest score to the lowest score. So again, you have to put them in order. I'm not going to do this one with you because we already did the last one, and you can put them in order and then look to see which one of these words match the number and put them in order to least from greatest to least. Okay, so that's number 6. Number 7, John warmed up by walking 0.6 miles. Then he ran 4.2 miles. He cooled down by walking 0.7 miles. How much farther did John run than walk? So for this one, I'm going to use my color highlighters, and I'm going to highlight everything that he walked in blue. So he walked 0.6, then he ran 4.2. I'm not going to highlight that in blue. And he cooled down by walking this many miles. Okay, so then I'm going to highlight in green what he ran. He ran that many miles. So what we have to end up here looking for is how much further, again, the difference, what's the difference between how much he ran than he walked. Okay, how much did he run than walk? So this is the big amount right here, the miles that he ran. We're gonna take that and we're gonna take away the 2 amounts that were by walking, the 2 blue amounts. But before I put the number here, I have to add these other 2 amounts so I can see what my total amount of walking would be. So again, excuse my numbers because I don't have my little pen with me here. I usually keep that in my house when I make the videos. So 6 plus 7 is 13. Carry the 1. 1 plus nothing is 1. And bring down my decimal. So he walked 1.3 miles. So I'm going to take that number and I'm going to subtract it from the number that he ran. So remember, these 2 were my blue. That's my walking. So I'm going to take my walking away from my running. This is how much we ran. And we're going to come up with the difference. So here we go. 2 minus 3, I can't do that. I have to borrow. I have to regroup. That becomes a 3 and this becomes a 12. 12 minus 3, now we know it's 9. And 3 minus 1 is 2. Bring down my decimal and my answer shows up right here and answer choice A. Okay, so now we're going to talk about 8. A triangle side length 3 centimeters, 5.7 centimeters, 4.52 centimeters. How many centimeters is the perimeter of the triangle? Remember, perimeter is the distance around the triangle. So if you need to, go ahead and draw yourself a triangle and label it as the perimeter. Perimeter equals side 1 plus side 2, and because we have 3 sides, oops, I said 3 and I wrote down 3. Side 2 plus side 3. Okay, so we know side 1 is 3 centimeters. We'll call this one side 1. Well, side 2 we know is 5.7 centimeters. And then side 3 is 4.52. Now the triangle doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be like mine. As a matter of fact, my drawing is a little bit off because these numbers do not match the picture. They don't match how big, how long each one is. But it doesn't really matter. All you're doing is adding the numbers together. So make sure you line them up and then you write them into this little box right here. Don't forget to do this little box right here and fill in those numbers. Okay.